I have to say, when you're making a sequel, first time Arcane ever does, so we are discovering that actually, so it's like, oh, so that's why people keep me. It's really good to know the core of what you're trying to do. This time we knew that already, so it was more like, what sophistication can we bring?
We love Corvo, and Corvo feels nostalgic to us. You can play Corvo again with all of his powers from the last game. They've all been extended and enhanced with upgrade trees. But I think the draw for a lot of people is going to be Emily Kaldwin. From day one, we were committed to making Emily as a character. We couldn't stop thinking about what happened to this 10-year-old girl that you were protecting in the first game and whose mind and actions were being altered by your playthrough style. So we were kind of haunted with, like, what would Emily be like as an empress in Dunwall at 25? The game starts with a coup in Dunwall Tower, and Emily's on the run. She has to leave behind her home, everything she's ever known, and she has to go down to the southern capital, Karnaca, and she has to go into the strange city where her father was born and take down the pieces of her enemy's organization bit by bit until she can come back to Dunwall.
We like to think sometimes as Emily's powers are being, it's not like canon what I'm saying, it's more like my vision. Her powers reflect her personality.
She has new powers like Shadow Walk, Domino, Mesmerize. And this time you can do things like Emily can domino 3 guards, connect them so that they all share fate, and then summon her own doppelganger and domino it to them. And so you can just drop all 3 guards by killing your doppelganger because they're dominoed together.
We're surprised once by a player linking 2 characters. One of them was actually an innocent civilian who had nothing to do in the mission, pushing that character forward, and it was transmitted to that other character that was actually facing 90 degrees in the other direction, and he was actually pushed into a chasm behind him, and he fell to his death, and I was like, wow! It's not like we ever showed even the first game without one of the first questions being, hey, doesn't it break the game? We like to break the game. Basically, if you can use that power to eliminate everyone, well, that's your expression of that power.
So yeah, we have those oh shit moments where we're like, do we fix this? Do we bulletproof against it? Or do we support it?
As we always say, we try to say yes to the player. It's like a mantra here, say yes to the player. And even if it's a bit stupid, say yes. One thing we always do is playtest the game a lot. For one of the players who never played Dishonored, I asked her like this weird theoretical question. Was there anything you wanted to do that you weren't able to do? In her case, she was like, yeah, that's surprising to say, but no.
We've also extended our basic combat and stealth moves. We now have a focus strike, we have combat choke, we have many more non-lethal moves. Once again, this is a game about an assassin where you don't have to kill anybody, or you can play with incredible brutality. I'm
pretty happy with the combat because we always wanted this game to be, the combat in this game to be simple. It's not about like memorizing combos. I love fighting games, I'm really into it, Street Fighter 5, etc. But that's really not the game we are making. We didn't change it because we liked what we had, but again, it's sophistication, it's new moves. Like for instance, one of the basic parts of our combat was blocking and parrying. So this time, we are trying to do, for instance, a little more with this stagger state, like you can actually grab the character. So again, still our principles, fighting against 1 enemy, piece of cake. 3 enemies, maybe you use some resources. 6, 7 enemies, run away. This time we took the approach of actually letting you tailor a little bit more the difficulty. So we have a lot of different, I would say, modifiers or sliders. This time we actually included the option in the difficulty to say, hey, you know what? Actually, enemies will now detect you even when you're higher than them. I would even go as far as to say as there are some modifiers that are a bit crazier than you might expect.
There have been level design changes as well. We use vertical space more. The characters can now chase you, vaulting over walls and climbing up. And if there's any kind of path up to the roof, they can follow you. So it's a much more vertical game. People really like the little urban pockets before the main missions last time, and so we do more of those. And now we mix little pockets of neutrality where you can see the life of the city with the hostile areas.
It's basically we giving the player the tools to write his own story, basically. So we have a frame, there is a story, there is a plot, character, blah blah, something happens, Dishonored, etc. But besides that, like, you really own the experience as soon as you're in the mission. At this very moment, and I'm one of those guys that do go back to play the first game every now and then, I have to say I miss the stuff we have in the second one when I play the first one. Our main challenger, when shipping this game is actually the first game. We are not trying to, attack any games. We love a lot of games. We like that there are a lot of games. We are not attacking anyone, but we are attacking ourselves, clearly. Like, we are challenging ourselves. Can we make it more fun? Can we make it more beautiful? Can we make it, more interesting?
I've worked for like 7 years, some of us have, on Dishonored games. And everything we did in Dishonored 1, we've taken to the next level in Dishonored 2. It's not just the art direction and the rendering technology, but every game system. We've done all the things that we loved before and our players loved, and we've deepened those things.
It's difficult for this kind of games because they are broken for a long time during development, like super broken, like you have no idea. So, like no idea. And we have like the whole team at some, there are some moments where everyone's like, where are we going? But, as we advance through development and the game becomes more and more stable and coherent and we iterate, etc., you start to get to that part where you're starting to have fun, even at the office. And then, if you're really lucky to work on a project that is working, I think, you get to that moment where sometimes when you're home and you cannot play the game anymore, you miss it.